our eighth class, eighth and eighth. And this is our last class for our Think of Something Beautiful. And so this is our uh, poster, and here we are discussing how to help teenagers develop more positive thinking. And today, Miss Lin, she helped me translate, and actually she says, should we keep this name or just say, let's teach positive thinking? I feel it's more poetic. Think of something beautiful. And so think of something beautiful. It's like take a bath, think of something beautiful. Take your dinner, think of something beautiful. Listen to somebody talk, think of something beautiful. Whatever we do, think of something beautiful. And actually, we are joking, but in yoga we learn a practice we call Madhu Vidya. Madhu means sweet, and Vidya is the knowledge, or sweet knowledge. It means to see the beauty in everything. And our yoga, this program is not up to that standard, but actually we like children develop a positive attitude towards themselves and towards others and towards their future, towards their lives. So we have been discussing 7 topics, and I didn't show you this one. I don't think I sent you also. So the first one is who am I? Have a better vision of who I am. Okay. The second one is who is my support group and my friends, and what do I want from my friends, and what will I not accept from my friends. And so we have better stability. If we have good friends, we have a better life. And actually, friends affect our mind also. Then, what are my values? Number 3, a better action. And so better vision is better vision of who you are. Better stability means your friends. Better action means, okay, we are independent. We do our thing, but what are my values? And we use our values to be more responsible leaders. Number 4 is, what's my future? Better planning. So we discussed, it's very important to talk with children about, okay, now you're here, what is your next step? What is your next step? Always try to encourage children to think about their future and how to get to their future. Then number 5 is, how do I grow? Do I grow my wisdom? And so then wisdom actually has a lot to do with how we make decisions. And so here, better decisions. And last week we talked about, do I choose happiness? And so do I choose joy? And do I really make a conscious decision that I want to bring joy into my life and the life of those around me? And now how children see the joy, I think this very much depends on the teacher. And so we have better vision, better stability, better action, better planning, better decisions, better me, and more joy. And so this is our 7 steps. And actually, these few weeks discussing this program, of course, when I designed the program, I was also very inspired. Sometimes you do things and actually in the beginning you don't know what you're making. And then slowly things take shape and it's kind of magical. It's like a painting. And what I share with you is not what I started with. And so this process is you remove the things you don't want and you keep the things you feel is something useful. And something that resonates. And so this whole project, actually, I'm very thankful because so many blessings on the way. So we have talked about our program for teenagers, and these few classes I didn't do much yoga. Actually, I didn't do any yoga with you. And actually, when you look at the yoga path, and most of it is actually not poses. Most of it is how we manage our minds. It's very much like the Buddhist way of teaching. And so the Buddhist way is also just how to learn to think right, to speak right, to do the right action, and how, all these daily activities are our practice. And so this is actually the core of our yoga life also, is how to be a better person and in daily life. But the yoga can help in being a better person. So if a person has glandular imbalance or neural imbalance, then it will be helpful for them to do the poses. Now basically, all of us are somehow imbalanced, and so we all kind of need to do our yoga exercises. And so that is the part. And then, of course, our quiet time. And the quiet time practice is also beneficial for us to make better choices. And so the three aspects come together. And so we have the physical balance, mind-body connection is better. We quiet our mind and we develop our self-insight. So these three aspects together create mental balance that can help with making better choices. Now, we have done a lot of activities online already. And today I was thinking to focus on two areas that we can do more with. The first one is how to play with the cards. Okay? So last week I sent one big poster. I don't know if you remember. And actually this poster, in my opinion, is also very important. Because this poster shows that if you're not happy, and this is the water personality, if your mind is depressed or closed up or you block yourself, then you have to develop the next layer. If you're stuck here, develop the next. But if you want to have a beautiful life, you focus on growing your happiness and your joy. Okay, so it is very visual that if you want to be free from all this, you develop more the inner joy. And quiet time and inner focus help with that. And so that was, so these are the cards, the pictures, and in Indonesia, Didi is printing the cards in Bahasa. And now we have the cards also in English, in beautiful little bag. So that will be available maybe early next year. I wanted to show you anyway what you can do with the cards, okay? So you have an idea. And so for example, and the first one is plant a seed. So it is basically every morning you just pick a card, okay? And so for example here, this is vanity. So vanity is you want to be praised, you want people to say, oh, you are so wonderful, and you're doing a good job, and you want people to recognize what you're doing. So when you pick a card like this, you always try to make it positive. So today, I will let go of my small pride, my small need for to be recognized by other people. So you get an intention. And you know, the other day I was introducing the cards to some family, and they said, "Oh, is this tarot cards?" Actually, maybe tarot, the origins of tarot cards, maybe also India. Okay, so a lot of this esoteric culture from India. You know, India used to be at the highest center of learning in the world. And like now people want to go to university, they go to Harvard or to Oxford. In about 2,000-3,000 years ago, if people wanted to learn something, they would go to India. And so people from Egypt, Greece, and the other day I saw an article, and they were writing about the Greek Hindus, the Greek yogis, and it's very interesting. So this connection was there all the time, you know, all over the world. These Indian concepts have been spread around. So I wouldn't call this tarot cards. I would call this more the 50 aspects of our mind. Okay, so 50 aspects of our mind, and everybody in one way or another has these qualities within ourselves. And so the idea of yoga is to free the mind from all these. And so let's say I plant a seed, and today I want to live without remorse, and I don't want to regret anything I do. Now, if you don't want to regret anything, then you have to think carefully what you're doing. Don't do things halfway. Don't do things in a hurry. Do things mindfully. Pay attention to what you say, what you do, what you think. Don't need to regret. So actually every card, even if it is a negative, can become positive, okay? And so for example here, selfishness, the liar, and the hypocrite. So here the intention will be, today I want to be honest and truthful. And so I think the cards actually have a lot of resources to give us a positive intention for our day. And so this is one activity you could do with the cards. Plant a seed, okay? So plant a seed is what you could do in the morning, and then this is your intention for the day. You can use the cards for storytelling. Now, I don't want to go into that too much. I like to do one we do usually in workshops, and I feel that's very nice. So here I'm going to select 4 cards. Okay, so I just pick up any cards. I'm not looking, and I also didn't mix them up, but anyway, I just take them. Any cards, 4 cards, and these cards we are going to use to analyze relationships. So what is going on in our life and what we want to improve. Okay. So we have 4 cards. Now listen carefully, okay? So, upside down, sorry. The first card is the card that talks about how our relation is today. Okay, so here we have manipulation. And so argumentation means, and this card represents you are trying to force somebody to accept your way. Okay, so especially if you have a friend, or you're married as a couple, or maybe as a boss and employee, and maybe there can be this situation. The first card you pick, and you pick 4 cards at random, okay? And so the first card you pick represents the relation you're thinking about now. And so in this case, it is, there is, in this relationship, one is very pushy and is trying to force ideas on somebody else. Now, this is the second card. This is my situation in the relationship. And so the second card shows you your condition. So in this case is, I lack confidence. Okay, so the other party in the relationship is pushing me all the time, and I feel I become a victim. I become a prisoner. Now, the third card represents what you want from the other person. Okay? So the third card represents you want the other person to just be himself or herself, free your mind, okay? And so the third card is what you want from the other person. And the fourth card is what you hope to achieve. And now here is the scholar, and he likes to learn and see things new. And so here we would say that once we can, let's say the other party stops pushing you, you become free, and you can open your mind and learn new ideas, and you can develop new thoughts and new dreams. Okay, so these are 4 cards, and I just picked them at random, okay? And so, and sometimes we look at these cards and, they are not going to tell you what's going to happen in the future or whatever. It's more like a mirror. You look in the mirror, you see yourself, and then what you see in the mirror tells something about you. Okay? So these 4 cards are kind of a mirror to your relationship. And so it doesn't really mean that really the situation is like this. It is just help you reflect and talk about your feelings with the other person. Maybe correct, maybe not correct, but usually we find that whatever people pick, there is always some truth in it. Because these 50 cards have all the aspects of our life, of our own person. So somehow, somewhere, it speaks to someone. Okay, so that is another activity. You can play with the cards to talk about relationships. And you can talk about money. You can play so many games with the cards, okay? And the last one I want to do with you is how you want to grow. Now here is not, you don't pick at random, and you first choose the card that shows where you are today. And then from there you pick a card that what you want to develop. And then you pick a card what blocks you from growing this thing. And then you pick a card from what can help you overcome your obstacles. And so that is another game, and you can play with the cards. And I think there are many more activities. Okay, so that is your evolution. And so let's say if you are more here, means you're more in your own small world where you suffer from confidence, or you don't have this energy to break out. Now, or maybe you're here, or you're already independent, but you're not really fulfilled. So then you think, I want to develop my air personality, the heart. And so maybe you choose hope, or you choose you want to be kind and loving, mamata, empathy card. Or you want to develop more your cosmic qualities, then you choose a card from here. So then you think, okay, I'm here, I want to be here. Now, what blocks me from growing up to this point? And then you find a card within the 50 cards. So maybe you are fearful, maybe you're fearful of change, maybe you are fearful, or maybe you are stuck in and you're blocked and you don't know where to go forward, how to go forward, or maybe you're depressed. Okay, so then you think, how can I overcome depression? So then I say, okay, grow hope. And hope you can grow. So every day, if you tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do this, I have hope for this, this is my dream, and these are my steps to reach the dream. This you keep on nurturing within yourself, and you can overcome your depression. Every day, it's hard work, but life is not easy. I don't know why, but it seems like that. So, why do we every day seek for quiet time? Think of something beautiful. Think of something beautiful. And so we always think of something beautiful, so then we feel beautiful, because we are beautiful inside. So, when we overcome our lower, what we call vrittis, and the lower tendencies, then we can reach the higher. And so these cards actually to help someone explore the psychology, I think very practical. And so that's why I spend time, and people also help me. Actually, I'm very thankful to make the cards, and we try to help others to learn. The cards are black and white, so you can color them, okay? So the idea of coloring the card is you develop more feeling for the cards. And so when you color the cards yourself, then you are more connected to the meaning of the cards. So that's why I didn't do it in color. I could have done. It's not much more expensive, but that is. So card games and card activities. And that is one part of what we want to discuss today. And the second part, what I want to discuss is talking about values. And I think, I don't know how you want to use this content of this class, this course. Everybody maybe has their own plan. Maybe you take a small piece and a small piece, or maybe you take the whole thing. One part I feel is very important is our Jama Niyama. And so this is all the 10 values of the Jama Niyama. And you remember when we talk about values, I mentioned Jama Niyama. With the children, you can grow your own Jama Niyama, okay? So maybe you don't need to follow the traditional Yama niyama. You can make your own principles. But yama niyama is very beautiful. And I feel the stories that very helpful to explore. So I think all of you maybe remember this the story from last week, and we talked about ahimsa, and then we have these two mothers who are pregnant and they fall on each other. You remember the story, right? Okay, so today I want to start with another story, and then okay, and this story is about what we call santosha. Okay? Shotya santosha. Santosha is Sanskrit. San means with. Tosha means contentment. And so you, in Chinese, you say manzu. You feel fulfilled. And in yoga, we like to be content. And whatever the situation, it's good or bad, we try to keep our mental balance and be content. Okay. Now here, so usually with the children we say thankfulness. Now this story is very interesting. I'm very keen to hear your answer. I don't know, did I tell you this story? Sometimes I forget what I tell you and what I tell others. Once in the forest there was a hunter, and the hunter heard some noise in the bush. And he looked around and he saw a little snake. And the little snake was desperately trying to hide and run away. And the hunter asked the little snake, "What's wrong?" And the snake said, "There is a python." You know python? Damasi, this very big snake. And the python is chasing me. "Help me, help me, help me, hide somewhere." And the hunter said, "Okay, jump in my pocket." And the little snake jumped inside the hunter's pocket. And the python passed by. And the hunter told the little snake, "Now, snake, the python is gone. Come get out." But the snake said, "No, no, no. I like it here. It's warm and cozy." But the hunter said, "Hey, snake, I helped you. Now you get out, okay?" But the snake didn't want to come out. And the snake told the hunter, "You are a good man, but you're also a little bit a foolish man. You let the snake sit in your pocket." Now the hunter was scared to put his hand in his pocket because he thought the snake would bite him. Now just then a heron, and bailusi, in Chinese we say bailusi, heron flew by. And the hunter told the heron, says, "There's a snake in my pocket and he doesn't want to come out. What to do?" The heron said, "Well, hunter, you squeeze your pocket, just squeeze a little bit, and I will help you." So the hunter squeezed his pocket, and the little snake's tail slightly came out of the pocket, and the heron pulled the snake with his beak and grabbed that snake and pulled it out. And he killed the snake. The heron was very fast, but the snake had bitten the hunter. And the hunter said, "Oh no, heron, he bit my hand. This is what to do." And the heron said, "You have to eat the meat of a white bird." Now, who is white? The heron is white. So the hunter grabbed the heron and put the heron in his bag, and he went home. And he told his wife, "A snake bit me, a heron helped me take out the snake from my pocket, but the snake bit me." And he says, to cure the bite, I need to eat the meat of the heron, of the white bird. So please cook the heron for me. And the wife said, why are you so cruel and thankless? This heron helped you, and now you want to eat it. The woman, the wife opened the bag and wanted to let the heron fly away. But as the heron came out of the bag, he picked the eye of the woman. And he picked the eye out of the woman's head and flew away. Now the story ends here. Now the question is, in this story, who is most thankless? Is it the snake? Is it the hunter? Or is it the heron? And the snake didn't want to come out of the pocket, then he bit the hunter's hand, even though the hunter helped him. Then the heron helped the hunter, but the heron wanted to eat, the hunter wanted to eat the heron, and then the woman helped the heron, but the heron picked the woman's eye. In this story, who was the most thankless? Okay, Cassie, you are here today and you're so attentive. Out of these three, who do you think was the worst?
It's very difficult answer.
Actually, they're all terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
All three of them, they get help and they hurt the other person.
Yes.
Just think, never mind. I'll ask Didi here, Didi Suveda. Didi Ananda Suveda, who is most thankless?
I think it's snake.
The snake? Why, Didi?
Because a hunter helps it, and it doesn't want to go. Not only didn't want to go, and also he bit. But we don't know this snake is a poisonous or it's a okay snake.
Okay, snake.
It's not poisonous.
But actually, if you mean to say if the snake had not done the bad thing, after that nothing bad would have happened, right? So because he started everything, it's the worst. Okay, good. It's logic, makes sense. Any other ideas? Who is most thankless in this story? The hunter, the little snake, or the heron?
I think it's the hunter because the snake didn't want to come out. The heron bit the woman's eye, but the hunter wanted to kill the person, the one who helped him, take his life. So that is the worst, isn't it?
Oh, killing is the worst.
Yeah, take away the one who helped you, the life of the one who helped you. And I think that you cannot say that because of the snake that everything else happened. Everyone makes their own decision.
I think this is also a very good point. So maybe it's the snake, maybe it's the hunter. But why did the heron have to take the eye? You see, the hunter still had, because people eat meat, okay? They're not Ananda Margis, all of them. So he's a meat eater. So he felt nothing is wrong to eat that bird.
But it's not that eating the meat is not the problem. The problem is that he was going to kill the one that helped him.
Right. Yeah,
that's the point.
They're all very good answers. The other day I shared this dilemma, and one lady, she came up with a very good answer. She said, actually, she agrees with Kalyani's, but her reasoning was different. She says the snake and the heron are animals. So they have no choice but to do what they do. So the snake wasn't scared, and so he bit. The heron was in shock and suddenly saw this shining eyes and picked at the eyes, maybe thinking it was a frog or something. But the hunter, he has the ability to be thankful. He's a human being. Like Kalyani says, he actually has really freedom of decision making. And the others, they are just animals. They follow their animal nature. And so actually, whatever students come up with, I think this kind of dilemma story, and these stories, they come from West Africa, many of them. And
Teacher Tom,
I
have a question
Yeah.
about who tell hunter must eat the white bird?
the heron.
The heron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So innocent, right? The heron was too simple. So So these are stories actually you can talk whole night about because there's no real answer. But what it does, it brings up a lot of good discussion and freedom of choice, the level of evil. And so if, like Kalyani says, the hunter wanted to kill the one who helped him. Let us go to another story, okay? And this story is from India. It's a dilemma. And this story is with what we call satya. In Sanskrit, we call satya. Satya is honesty. Okay, satya. And sat means perfect, ya means control. And so satya also usually we translate as honesty. But also means authenticity, to be true to yourself, and not to live the life of another person or to live the life of other expectations, but to live your own honest life, your truth, your own life. Okay, and so this story is just very interesting. I look forward to your feedback. So, a long time ago in India, there were two boys. They were princes, and they grew up together. They were just like brothers, though they were not really brothers, but they were actually brothers. You can say extended family brothers. But they were also best friends. So when they were big, they decided to visit a temple of the goddess. And in India, you have the Kali, the black goddess. And she's very fierce. So when they went inside the temple yard, and there they saw a beautiful girl. She was beautiful, charming, and graceful. And of course, she must have been a princess. And those days in India, there were many small kings and queens and maharajas. So they both fell in love with the princess. The big brother first went inside the temple and prostrated in front of the goddess statue, and he prayed in his heart. He says, "Goddess, if you let me marry this girl, I offer you my head." His passion and love is so dramatic. The smaller brother had seen that the big brother also had interest in knowing that girl and meeting the girl. So he kept quiet. Though he had the same feelings, he just kept quiet. So when the two brothers went back to the palace, the big brother was sick. And he was sick because he was in love. He so much wanted to see that girl. And so the small brother, he told the king, you know, your son is sick, but he's not really sick. He's sick because he's in love. So then the king said, no problem, we arranged, and then let's see if that family can agree for the girl to marry my son. And they were also looking for a husband, so that was a match, and they got married. And after 1 week, and to thank the goddess, after the wedding, 1 week later, the two brothers and the wife, they went again to the temple of Kali. And the married brother told the others to wait outside. He went inside the temple, he prostrated in front of the goddess. He said, thank you, you let me marry the love of my life. He took his sword and he cut off his own head. That was what he promised the goddess. It's a little bit cruel, but anyway, it ends up happily, okay, don't worry. So the other two, they were waiting outside the temple, and they say, where is that big brother? He's not coming out. So the younger brother went inside the temple, and he saw the big brother, head and body were separate, and was blood everywhere. And he said, oh no, if I go outside, people are going to say that I am the one who killed the big brother. And he didn't want people to misunderstand, so he also cut off his own head. So outside the temple, there was the girl. And the girl says, hey, what happened to these guys? They are not coming outside. It's very funny. So she went inside the temple, and there she saw 2 bodies and 2 heads lying in blood. And she said, oh no. And she took off her sari. And the Indian ladies, they have this kind of sari, it's like a long piece of cloth. And she prepared, she said, these boys are dead. I also don't want to live. And she said, goddess, I'm going to hang myself unless you bring back these 2 people. Now the statue came alive, and the statue said, the goddess statue said, stop, no more killing here. I'm pleased with your devotion. I grant you a boon. I give you a wish. You can make a wish. And the princess says, please return these 2 back to life. And the goddess says, quickly put their heads on their body. So the princess quickly picked up their heads and put them back on the bodies, and both of them came back alive. But she was so much in a rush that she put the head of the big brother on the body of the small brother. And the head of the small brother was on the body of the big brother. And both of them said, you are my wife. Now, the poor girl, she had mixed them up, and both of them now they said, I am your husband. One is the body of her husband, and on the other was the head of the husband. Now, the question is, who is not actually her husband? The one with the head or the one with the body? So actually this question is what is your truthful self? And who is your real self? So it's not just an external question, it's who is your identity? Who is your true nature? Very interesting story. It's a little bit bloody, but I think the question that it raises is very interesting. Any suggestions from our audience today? Any ideas? Who is the real person?
The body.
The body, the head follows the body, right? In your opinion. The heart. Yeah. This is a very good point. This is so when the real nature is to listen to your feeling of the heart. You know, I always say this in yoga teacher training that the mummies of Egypt, they were when they were mummified, they kept all the body parts. They only took out the brain and they threw away the brain because they said the brain is useless. The Greek, and also they didn't have high regard for the brain. They had more respect for the heart. And when babies grow in the mother's belly, it's the heart that starts first. And then the brain will follow the heart. And the heart's electromagnetic field is much bigger than the brain's magnetic field. So we feel much more with our heart. Our heart is very sensitive. And so let's say maybe 30, 40 meters away, somebody is looking at you, and that vibration, you feel it in your heart. And in yoga we call pranendriya. And pranendriya, actually we say, is like the sixth organ. Now, apart from the ears, eyes, nose, mouth, and skin, tongue, we have the sixth organ is the heart, because we can feel so many things with the heart. So one day, Emmy, if your husband would come back with a different head, but it's your husband's body, you would still accept him as your husband. I hope it never happens, okay? Sorry to say this. Any other suggestions? Is it the body, the heart, or is the head? Who is the real true self? Didi Ananda Suveda, what is your input?
I think it's head because our real self, Sahasrara chakra is above, and also Guru chakra is there.
What Didi says is because your joy, your inner joy is here. So without this one, this is the main thing. I think Didi, I don't know. Anna, what do you think? It'll be interesting because Didi is a Sujaren, she's not married. She doesn't care about the body. So maybe that's why Didi is thinking, oh, all the spiritual qualities are there. You know, some people say it's the head because it was the mouth that spoke to the girl. Says, I love you, I want to marry you. And so some people argue that, you know, the words make a person. How the person communicates with you. How the ears can listen to you. Actually, it's an impossible dilemma because heart and head cannot work separately. They work together anyway. Only heart without the head also will not work. Kalyani, any suggestions?
I think she shouldn't take any of them because they are both very stupid. Yeah.
Did you hear that one? Kalyani said she should divorce both of them. She should not, they're stupid. Cutting off their heads. You are so practical.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah.
Hi, Alice. Alice has ideas. Okay.
The body is the real true self, and
the real yourself, because the brother, he loves the girl with his heart, but he didn't speak it out because he thought with his heart, my big brother loves this girl, so he didn't express his real feelings. But his heart, maybe his heart is boom, 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 boom.
So actually, that some people say she should marry the younger brother with the big brother's head, because the head loves her and the younger brother's heart also loves her and can talk to her. And the big brother, the younger brother's head cannot allow himself to speak what is in his heart. So some people say she should go with the head of her husband and the body of the younger brother. But in India, you have this polyandry. One lady can marry both 2 men or 3 men. You can have 2 husbands. Anyway, it is a discussion. It's where does your true self speak from? And I think there's a lot of reasoning we can come up with. Okay, we tell another story. And this story is about ahimsa. Okay, ahimsa means non-harming. Actually it's very interesting. I'd like to share a little bit about this. These 10 values in the yoga system, they are more like principles. And principle means 原则. And it's a concept and a basic principle. But how you apply the principle depends on situation, depends on person, it depends on your own depth. And so last week we talked about this deep morality, and we said you can take a simple morality, or don't hurt others, or don't speak lie, or like that. But the deep morality means you try to prevent the greediness to steal. You like to prevent the hate feelings so you don't hurt others. And so you clean your deeper self. And I think if we want to do some discussion with teenagers, we should encourage this deeper exploration. And so that's why I feel these stories are very suitable, because you are flexible to see at what level they can follow you. And so this story is also, I put it under non-harming. Oh, this one we did last time already, sorry. I don't want to do this one again. There's so many stories. Okay, this story is also about non-harming. And this story is about hurting others by helping. You help somebody, but actually because you help somebody, you hurt somebody. So one day there was a monkey in a tree, and the tree was by the side of a river. And this monkey, he didn't like to swim. He was scared of water. And then he looked in the water, and he was a small monkey, okay, little monkey. And he saw a fish in the water, and he says, "Oh no, there's a fish in the water. I should go and help him." So the monkey jumped from the tree and got a net, and he was able to catch the fish. And he took the fish. He said, "Fish, I'm going to help you. Come with me in the tree." And the monkey climbed up with the fish in the tree, but the fish was not happy at all. The monkey was very kind and was very caring, and he said, "Little fish, here you'll be safe, because the water is dangerous. There are crocodiles, and you have to swim, and you'll be tired." But the little fish was so unhappy. He was fighting and trying to wriggle away back into the water. And the monkey says, "Why are you so ungrateful and restless? Here it's much better. You should be glad that you have a chance to sit high up in the tree. And then the fish sat still, and the monkey nodded and says, now you're a good. And he let go. And the moment he let go, the fish jumped back into the water and he said, I'll never want anybody to help me again. And I tell you this story because, I think most of us, we like to help people. But, sometimes our helping becomes hurting. And we have to be very careful when we help or when we think we help, or otherwise it becomes we hurt them, if we are not careful with what we are doing. So I don't know if anybody has anything to discuss about this, any experience that actually helping can be something that actually makes things worse. Now I tell you an example, and I think I've mentioned here before, and we are talking about this teenager pregnancy prevention. So in America, they have this program that they bring all the teenager mothers together so they can all learn about nutrition and hygiene and home management, and they can also learn from each other that how difficult it is to be a teenager mom. Now, actually, what they found out is that instead of helping this program, many people who attend this program had a second baby before 20. And one reason was that, they were talking together and they said, yeah, it's so great. I have this little baby. Every time I come home, he's crying. I can hold him. I can hug him. I can kiss him. And it's such a happy time. And my mother loves the baby and says, I want to have another one. And so the program they found is not helping to prevent teenager pregnancy, but is actually encouraging teenager pregnancy. And similar, there is a gang prevention program, gang prevention programs in schools. So let's say if the teacher has a student and he feels that student is maybe not really fitting in the class, and maybe that student might be at risk of joining a gang. So then they have this gang prevention program. Now they found out that those students who join these gang prevention programs, most of them, they end up joining the gangs. And they went to do research. And some of them, they said, I was not fitting in the school, but I was not thinking about joining a gang till I joined this gang prevention program. Then I was starting to think, hey, people feel something is wrong with me. People think I am at danger of joining a gang. Maybe I'm going to be a gangster. And so when that thought came in the mind, the person actually ended up joining a gang. So it was an effort to help, but it ended up hurting. And so this is also a ahimsa problem, and we think that we can help, but actually our help becomes a liability. Kalyani, I think you must have experience with this because you have been in this.
Of course, it's very difficult to know what is the right thing to do very often, yeah, because it's not a simple situation.
Yeah.
But generally, I think you must try to empower the other person to be able to help themselves.
Can
I
you?
mean, it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Kalyani, because Kalyani, she has been working in Semarang, Indonesia for so many years, and they run many, they support many community school projects. And so the community starts a school, and they don't have many resources, and so her work is to help these schools bring better standard of education. Right? That's right. Okay.
Actually, I'm not a field worker, brother. I am a in the project management part, so I cannot claim to this. It's just that when I get older and older, then maybe you reflect on all the mistakes you made, then you
Yeah.
just say, yeah. Maybe Didi Haripriya, she does more work in the field, than me. Then maybe she has some ideas.
So actually, to correct, Kalyani is not field worker. She is manager of the projects. She's the boss.
No.
So anyway, we I think we can move to the next story, and I feel that many of these stories are very useful for reflection. And this story is not a dilemma story, but it's a very interesting story. It's called The Dream Reader. And so a long time ago, in a small village, in faraway kingdom, there was a man, and he could read. He could read books. And so many people, they admire him because he was a reader. In those days, village people couldn't read. And so he became very famous all over that he is a reader. And somehow the story became that he could read dreams. But that was just gossip. Now, in those days, the king had a dream. And he was dreaming that it was raining swords. And he asked his people in the palace, what is the meaning of this dream? And they couldn't give a good explanation. So the king said, this dream is very important, I have to know. So he told all the people in the country to find someone who could understand his dream. So the news came to the dream reader's village, and all the village people told the king's people, said, oh, we have a dream reader. So then the king said, bring him to the palace. But the dream reader was very scared because he could read, but he couldn't read dreams. It was just a rumor. But if the king calls you, you have to go, otherwise you don't end up well. So he walked and he walked and he walked and he was thinking what to do. Now he was crossing a mountain and there was a forest, and in the forest there was a snake. And the snake was on the path where the dream leader was walking to go to the palace. And the snake said, you are going to the king. He said, yes. He said, don't be afraid, I'm not going to eat you. I think you are going to solve the king's dream. And this dream reader says, how do you know? He says, I know. And what did the king dream? Asked the dream reader. And the snake said, he dreamt of swords falling from the sky. It was raining swords. Now, what is the meaning of the dream? Said the dream reader. Says, the meaning is, said the snake, that there will be a lot of violence and a lot of murder in the country very soon. People will fight each other and they will kill each other, and go to tell the king that he should be patient. After some time, it will be okay. And the snake said, if the king gives you any gold or jewels, you must give me half. And he says, oh, sure, said the dream reader. I'll give you half. You saved my life. So he went to the king, and the king said, a week ago I had a dream. And the dream teller said, yes, I know your dream. You are dreaming of swords falling from the sky. And the king said, how do you know? He says, yes, I know. He says, I'm a dream reader. He said, no, what is the meaning? And then he says, there will be violence in the country. People will fight each other, kill each other, and you just be careful, it will pass. And the king was so happy, and he said, okay, I'm going to give you gold and jewels and have a happy life. Now the dream reader, he was thinking, I'm going to give these jewels to a snake who every day slithers in the dirt. He doesn't need his gold, he doesn't need his money. So when he passed by the snake, he started to beat up the snake, and he quickly ran away. He came to the village, he became a rich man, he bought a lot of, property, and got a beautiful wife, and he had a good life. Now after some time, the king had a second dream. And in the second dream, the dream was that from the sky there came a rain of foxtails. And so again, nobody in the palace could explain the dream. So the king said, call that dream reader from last time. And again, the dream reader walked through the forest. And the place where he met the snake, he stopped. And he called the snake. He said, snake, I have to go to the king to talk about the dream. And the snake said, why you call me? Last time I helped you, you promised to give me half, you beat me up and you ran away. And this time you want I help. So he said, sorry. This time I will give you all the king's present. Tell me what is the dream. So he said, well, the dream was about foxtails, and it means the people will tell lies, but it will pass. So tell the king not to worry. There were a lot of cheating, a lot of lying, and you should be careful. So the man was so happy, he said, I'm coming back, I'm giving you all the treasure. And he came back, and he went to the king, and the king, they discussed the dream. The king gave him present. I'm going a little faster. And he got the treasure. And on the way walking home, the dream reader was thinking, why should I give all this treasure to that dirty snake? And he went by a different path. He went back to the village, and he got a bigger house, and a bigger car, and more expensive clothes. Now then, after some time, the king had a third dream. And this time the dream was raining sticks. And nobody could explain. He said, bring the dream reader. The dream reader again, he had to go. And he didn't know what to do. So he went back to the snake. And this time he said, snake, come out of your hole. I need your help. He says to the snake, said, the first time you beat me up, the second time you cheat me, you didn't keep your promise, and this time you want my help again. He said, please, tell me what is the dream, what is the meaning? He said, well, the dream is sticks are falling from the sky, and it means people will be honest, the country will grow very well. So he went to the king, told this, your country will be honest, people will trust each other, work together, and everybody will be prosperous. And the king was very happy and said, take this treasure. And this time, the dream reader went back to the snake. And he said, snake, thank you. The king was very happy, and here is your treasure. And I'm going to bring you all the money from my home also. And the snake came out of the hole, and he shook his head. He says, I don't want your treasure. And the dream reader said, why? I promised you. He says, I don't like people like you. He said, you just change with the wind. The first time in the world there was a lot of fighting. You also fight with me. The second time there was a lot of lying and cheating, and you cheated me. Now the third time, everybody is honest and truthful, and you also become honest and truthful. He says, it's nice you're honest and truthful, but you are not your own person. You are not true to yourself. And the snake says, I don't like people who don't listen to themselves and have their own principles in life. So then the dream reader went back with all the money, and he felt very sad that he actually was not a principled person. Sorry, a little long story, but I think it represents very much what yoga is about, and what we want children to learn is to find their true self and believe in themselves and have principles in self. And I think if we are truthful, we can have a better choices, a better society, and a more fulfilling life. Sorry, it's a long story. Anybody wants to say something about this dream leader story? Anybody here? WeChat? Brandy, hi. I can see you. Did you follow the story? Yeah, it's a little long story. Sorry about that. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that person, we need to listen to ourselves, because the gods actually give everyone commission, and if we follow what the gods say to us, follow our heart, and our life will go well.
Yeah, I think that's very nice. So you mean to say that everybody has their own personality, and it's like from divine gifts, and everybody should be true to their own gift. Yeah, I think it's very beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that is actually very beautiful. Maybe closing also for today. What we really want is, we don't want to impose anything on children. We just want them to help them find their true nature. And society has certain expectations, and families may have expectations, and we have to find our true self. And I think the yoga path and what our education has this purpose. And first of all, I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Emmy for organizing our WeChat, and I want to thank Shi Hui and Didi Ananda Haripriya for organizing Zoom. And I hope you got some inspiration. I hope you can remember, teenagers, 1 in 7 has mental problems. And the number of teenagers experimenting with drugs or with irresponsible behavior towards opposite sex, or self-harming. There are so many other problems teenagers face. Globally, governments spend a lot of money. Not every country And I did some research today to check. Many countries actually don't spend money on mental health at all, and leave alone teenagers' mental health. America is more developed in this. They spend close to $1 billion a year, 625 million US dollars on mental health for teenagers. So this um, is a big thing all over the world, and I think we can make teenagers' lives better. And I hope you got some inspiration. How to implement the program. Today I sent you a PowerPoint, and in this PowerPoint I make some suggestions that some suggestions is this we can one way is can integrate with schools. And so if there is school, if you are familiar with any school, maybe you can give some weekly class. Another option is organize winter or summer camps. Or you can do a weekend just for 3 hours. Or you can go to these rehabilitation centers for teens with, if they're not good at home, then you maybe go for some special care. And I think these are some options. I don't know if anybody has other ideas. In our experience, it's not easy to get teenagers to join programs outside school. And I also suggest we don't call ourselves yoga teacher. Maybe we can call ourselves junior well-being coach. And like a junior well-being coach means to help younger children find, their true nature, like Brandy mentioned. And maybe in the chat group you can share if you have any ideas or feedback. Yeah, I think enough for today. Didi, thank you. Shihui, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rama.
Close for today, and this is last class of this course. And if you have any questions, please keep asking. Okay.